Freddy Mak figure it all out? Freddy Mak, an independent voter, raised Muslim, landscaper, real estate agent, rideshare driver, divorced father of 3, and still looking for love, is just trying to make sense of it all. Can he do it? Well, he thinks he can, and he's looking for your help. From dating to politics, Freddy talks about everything. Get ready for a different take on today's hottest topics, because with Freddy Mak, not everything is black and white. Buckle up. Welcome to the Freddy Mak Show, where common sense and logic rule.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Freddy Mak Show, where common sense and logic rule. I'm your host, Freddy Mak Attack. Today's episode is about it's okay to change your mind. And I'll get to what I'm talking about in just a few seconds. First, I want to talk about my social media accounts, to subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on TikTok, and you can find me on the YouTube channel. Just search the Freddy Mak Show, Freddy with a Y and Mac with a K, as you can see right there. And please follow and subscribe. And also on my TikTok account, oh, Jesus. Just so you know, this is unscripted. This podcast is 100% unscripted. I may have some bullet points so I don't forget things, but it's unscripted. We're using common sense and we're using logic. So if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. That's life in the big city. So, yes, I'm going to have on my TikTok a way to subscribe and to contribute to this podcast, just to help expand it, because I'm going to bring guests on here as well. And we're going to talk about the hot topics today, especially dating, relationships is huge. We're going to dabble in politics. And of course, we're going to talk about the Palestinian people and the suffering that they've been going through, and how this did not start on October 7th, even though everybody wants to take that route. It's ridiculous. But today, we're going to talk about how it's okay to change your mind. And what do I mean by that? It's okay to change your mind politically and who you're going to vote for. So let me give you a little history on me, okay? So when Trump entered the political arena, I hate to admit it, but there was something about the way he was talking that made me scratch my head that maybe he's onto something. Maybe he's onto something. And then you start hearing crap about Hillary and corruption and stuff like that. And fast forwarding, they're all corrupt. I don't give a shit what anybody says. The Democrats do a little bit more for the people than Republicans do all day. So Democrats will offer you this, but give you this. Republicans will offer you this and give you absolutely nothing except tax breaks for the millionaires and billionaires. Okay? So I was torn. I was actually torn. And then Trump started talking more and more and more and more and more. And I realized, oh my good Lord, this guy is a racist. He's a bigot. He's a xenophobe. He's just a horrible, misogynist. He's misogynistic. This person is just a horrible, horrible person. And then, of course, Hillary Clinton, another one. Yes, things have to change. He was right about that. Politics in America has to change. It's just too much division, too much yelling, screaming, too much bigotry, too much racism. Listen, do you realize that the KKK and white supremacy groups support Donald Trump? Pretty scary, right? I mean, that's pretty scary. That means he's sending out dog whistles. Of course, we all heard their last rally at Madison Square Garden. They're not even saying the quiet part anymore. They're saying the quiet part out loud. That's it. They're no longer being quiet about it. They're no longer dog whistling. They are saying it. Okay? They hate women. They're racist. They're bigots. And the joke about Puerto Rico and the joke about watermelon was not funny. There's a time and place for everything. That was a message, clearly was a message to all the bigots and the racists that are out there supporting Donald Trump. So I went into the voting booth and I was so frustrated that I decided not to vote for either candidate. Okay, and it when you look back at it, when you look at the independent votes, it wouldn't have made a difference. She lost. She absolutely lost. And Trump won. And then we had 4 years of nothing but freaking chaos. Absolute chaos. Excuse me while I have a little drink. See my mug? This is when I went to Niagara Falls the first time a couple years ago. Anyway, so I wasn't sure. Obviously, nobody was sure who the candidate was going to be for 2020. We all had a feeling it might be Biden. We were excited about Bernie, and of course, they pushed him out, and they just didn't want somebody like that. So they chose Biden, and I was like, yeah, fine with me. And I heard everything Biden said in the past, his racist comments. He has actually stepped up to the plate and apologized for things that he said in the past and everything, and he changed. I believe people can change. They can change, okay? But right in front of my face, he said something, and I completely ignored it. He said, you don't have to be Jewish to be Zionist. You just don't. And at the time, I guess I really didn't know what he meant by that. Deep down, I didn't do a deep dive. My hatred for Trump was so deep that I just wanted him out of office, regardless of what Biden has said. And did he say anything worse than Trump? I don't know if that's possible. But clearly, fast forwarding, he's a Zionist. There's no doubt about it. So anyway, I started a grassroots podcast for Joe Biden. I mean, we did road rallies. We had like 50, 60, 70 cars at one time. The front of my house had banners, signs, balloons, little lifelike cardboard figures of Kamala and Joe Biden, balloons every weekend. If people didn't like it, they actually called code enforcement on me because they said it was an eyesore. But it's on my property and it's election time and they can't do anything about it. So I had eggs thrown at me. I had my sign stolen. Then a nice friend of mine showed me how to anchor it down so they can't steal it. I got called every name in the book. They literally were calling Kamala Camel, you know what, and calling her the WH word. And it just was disgusting. It just was absolutely disgusting. I had, on election night, I literally had 12 bags of garbage dumped in front of my house. 12 bags of garbage dumped in front of my house. My Ring cam caught it, but it was too far away and too blurry. You couldn't see what it was. I did call the police, but there's really not much they can do about it. But I called the police because inside the bag were envelopes with people's addresses, medical information. These people, it seemed like they went to a dumpster and just filled their bags up and then dumped it in front of my house, which is a little scary because this place that dumped that garbage had personal information of people, which is not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. On the other hand, I got treated very well. Now, I don't drink, but I got flooded with alcohol and I gave that away. I got sweets, I got candy, I got letters. I got 4 letters taped to my door thanking me for what I'm doing for democracy, as they say, for democracy. And then I got a gift card to Target. I mean, people are knocking on my door, bringing me champagne, thanking me for being brave and this and that. And it was scary. I mean, I'm like 100 yards from my road in my living room, well, maybe 50 yards. Literally, with doors closed, I heard people screaming and yelling at me. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. The middle finger, you name it. I got it all. So Joe Biden won. Now, I told my cousin Michael. My cousin Michael said, Fred, they're all the same. They all support Israel. I said, yeah. And again, I took that lightly. When he said he was a Zionist, and blah, I just took it lightly. My hatred for Donald was so embedded. I just wanted him to go away. I just wanted him to go away. And I told my cousin Michael, if Joe Biden crosses any line that I think is not right, I promise you, Michael, I will not vote for him. I won't vote for him. Well, he crossed the line. I'm just going to come right out and say it. For those of you who think that this started on October 7th, I'm sorry to say this, but you're misinformed, you're uneducated, and you're absolutely clueless on what's been going on there for the past 76 years. Now, we'll get into that in detail. I don't want to get into detail what's been going on there because most people know what's been going on there, right? This country has been sanitized. I literally watched a documentary on this young lady. I think she's 23 or 24 years old. Went to Jewish school, was taught Jewish pride, waving the Israeli flag. She even lived in Israel. And then all of a sudden she started hearing these terms like apartheid and settlements and occupation. She was completely clueless. She lives in Israel. Gaza's right there, and she was misinformed, had no idea what was going on there. So you can imagine how sanitized the American people have been with what's going on with the genocide in Gaza. Well, when Joe Biden literally within a week went halfway across the country to hug a psychopathic genocidal maniac, I told my cousin Michael, that's it. He's not going to get my vote. He's just not going to get my vote. Now, for a whole year, nearly 50,000 Palestinians have been massacred. Half of them children. Average age, I think they said, was 15 or 16 or something like that. Over 3,000 babies, toddlers, 3 years and under, have been, that number's probably gone up. That number was a few months ago. This is not strategic. This is not because we want our hostages. No, absolutely not. If that's what you think, if you think this is self-defense now, self-defense excuse is over with. It is done. It's finished. It's over with. So I decided that was it. That's what it took for me not to vote. I can't. If you can convince me otherwise, go for it. People keep telling me, well, listen, Freddie, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, then Donald Trump may win. If he wins, you know what Agenda 25 is. I do. I know exactly what it is. I know exactly who Donald Trump is. He's a dictator wannabe. He's a fascist, 100% fascist. No question about it. I don't care. This country needs to see who they're voting for. If he wins, which I doubt he's going to win. I doubt it. As a matter of fact, I know he's not going to win. This is going to be a landslide, even without the Muslim vote. And shame on Muslims that are voting for him. We'll get into that in a second. But there's just no way he's going to win. The numbers are not working out for him. There's no way he's going to win. But I just said, maybe this country needs to see who they voted for, so it never happens again, right? We're going to learn from history. We're always going to make mistakes, right? But who would have thought in the United States of America, where the Constitution has been a pretty solid document and working pretty well for the American people, all of a sudden it's being questioned by a certain party, and that's the MAGA. Certainly not Republicans. Republicans have been leaving. True Republicans have been leaving, and just unbelievable. Who would have thought that Cheney would be voting for Kamala Harris? Who would have thought? It's just insanity. And Dick Cheney, too. Who would have thought that would have happened, right? Not me. So, yeah, I want to say that I love her. If it weren't for the Palestinian issue or massacre, I would vote for her 100%. But it makes me sick to my stomach every time a protester says, free Palestine, stop, ceasefire. She'll say, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Yes, the Palestinian people are suffering. There's far too many deaths. And then all of a sudden, bring the hostages home. Yeah. Yahoo, my friend told me to call him Yahoo instead of Bibi Boo Boo or Netanyahu. Yahoo doesn't care about the hostages. He's murdering his own people. 2 people came out naked waving a flag, a white flag, and they shot him. This is the Israeli army. This is what they do. They shoot first, ask questions later. They have broken every single international law out there, but yet they still get a pass. If any other country did this, there would be sanctions. There would be they wouldn't get any money. It just baffles my mind that they are let off the hook here, and it continues to go. And now Biden is like, I'm gonna put a embargo on you if you don't stop doing this. It's too late, Joe. It's too late. You effed up. You effed up, Joe. You effed up, and you know it. So take your comment, you don't have to be Jewish to be Zionist, and stick it up your ass. It's real simple. It's real simple. Just stick it up your ass. So I tell people I have the most legitimate reason for not voting. How can I vote for either candidate or either party that's literally murdering my people. How? I was married into a Palestinian family. That family still has friends and family that live in Gaza that are now dead. Israel's now bombing South Lebanon, the town where my father grew up at, and I went there in 2018 and saw where he grew up. No one lives there anymore because they're bombing that area. And now they're bombing Beirut. And I have family in Beirut. Okay, thank God they're fine for now. But how, in good conscience, can I vote for somebody who advocates for that? And both parties do. I'm a never Trumper. I would never vote for Trump. The only way I would vote for Trump is if there was a solid, clear case for him actually stopping this genocide and giving the Palestinian people what they need. But he's not going to do that. And for Kamala, if she were to say that. But neither one of them are going to do that. Donald Trump literally said he'll give Yahoo whatever he needs to finish the job. Yeah, that's a good candidate right there. I mean, has anyone, have you seen the pictures? I've seen the pictures. I mean, children mangled in rubble, body parts gone. I mean, and these young kids now without any arms or legs, they're going to grow up traumatized like there's no tomorrow. It's disgusting. We're human beings and we're doing this to other human beings. Yahoo is a monster. Plain and simple, monster. I have a legitimate reason. And I feel good about this reason. I just can't do it. If I vote for either party, I feel like I'm going to have blood on my hands. Can't do it. Just like MAGA, many MAGA people, especially people of color and women, have a legitimate reason not to vote for him. Not to vote for him. I mean, he literally signed off on a comedian to tell the most ugly, vile jokes. Look, there's a time and place for jokes like that, right? I'm not even sure that joke will go off in a comedic skit, on stage. I'm not even sure that will go off very well because it just doesn't seem funny. There wasn't no segue to it, or it just didn't flow. It wasn't funny. And then they make the joke about Puerto Rico. Then they make a reference joke about black people and watermelon. Holy shit. Are you kidding me? And you people are going to vote for Latinos, people, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans. You're going to vote for a man that literally demonizes you every single time he goes to a rally, and you're just sitting there. I mean, this is insanity what we're watching right now. It's just insanity. I don't get it. And I don't want to have anything to do with it. So guess what? It's okay to change your mind. It's okay. I'm going to be just like George Carlin, right? I'm going to sit back and watch a shit show. I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote. I'm voting third party. I'm going to write in something. Hell, I might just write in Mickey Mouse because I think Mickey Mouse can do a better job than these freaking morons. And it's sad, too, because I'm excited about the Democrats. I'm a Democrat, right? I lean left 100%. Well, I shouldn't say that now. Now I'm more of an independent because any Democrat or Republican that comes on the stage that I like, if they take money from AIPAC, from the terrorist organization of AIPAC, I'm not voting for them. I'm just not going to vote for them. So I don't think anybody out there can give me a legitimate reason to vote for either party. If Donald Trump, if your legitimate reason is Donald Trump could be president and he's going to ruin this country. First of all, I don't think he's going to ruin this country. The Constitution is pretty solid. There's more people for the Constitution than against the Constitution. And MAGA will see when he implements these policies that he wants, they're going to go, what the hell did I do? Just like tens of thousands of people realized in 2020, what the hell did I do? That's why he lost. And it's going to happen again. I think that rally was his demise. I really do. Because anybody that didn't plan on voting and they were people of color or from Puerto Rico, they're going to vote now. And I would venture to guess that there are some folks out there that are Puerto Rican that never voted for Donald Trump, and now they're not going to. And same thing with black folks. I don't understand how you can vote for him after that. And people are saying, well, he didn't say it. He didn't say it. Listen, folks, let's be real here. Let's be real, okay? Let's be real. Whenever a candidate brings people on stage to talk before he comes on, warm-up speakers they call them, they know exactly what they're going to say. You don't think that Kamala Harris didn't know what Beyonce was going to say, what Michelle Obama was going to say? Of course they know. And Donald Trump knew exactly what this comedian was going to say. Exactly. And he's okay with it. He signed off on it. He's good. Yeah, make a joke about black people and watermelon and Puerto Rico's a floating garbage can. Come on, man. How can it? Just like me, he said he wanted to ban Muslims, and I think that was probably the point where I said, nah, enough is enough. That's it. I just can't do this anymore. So, yeah, I mean, it didn't take much for me to change my mind with Donald Trump. But in the beginning, it was like, yeah, maybe it could be a good change. But that lasted that long, 5 minutes. So anyway, and then Donald Trump was on Joe R. I don't want to say his name because I don't know if I'm allowed to. But anyway, he was on that show, and he made a complete, utter fool out of himself. He really did. The guy, and you know what's really funny here is that they told Joe that he's too old to run, and now Trump is older than Biden was when he ran, or maybe they're the same age now. I'm not really sure, but isn't that kind of funny, isn't it? Yeah, the hypocrisy with the Republican Party. Don't get me wrong, Democrats are hypocritical as well, but this whole thing is a shit show. It's embarrassing. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever what's going on in this country. I mean, Donald Trump wants to be a dictator. That's all there is to it. And if he wins, I hope people wake up and smell the coffee, and hope he's gone. I mean, I think if he does win, I keep saying I think if he does, he's not going to win. There's just no way he's going to win. He just doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't have the momentum. And if he wants to talk about crowd size, okay, let's do it. See, I talk like I want Kamala to win. Yeah, I kind of do. But again, I don't want blood on my hands. I can't in good conscience do it. The village that my father lived in was bombed by American bombs. The village that my father grew up in is being bombed by USA bombs. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And they wrote off on it. They said, yeah, here's $20 billion more. Go for it. So, but how embarrassing is Donald Trump? Just embarrassing. I'll give Kamala credit. I got to give Kamala credit because she has been just spectacular in her messaging. Her rallies have been spot on. And if you want to talk about crowd size, Donald Trump loves talking about crowd size. I had that thought in my mind. I may have even said it. I'm not sure. I go off the beaten path all the time. But if you want to talk about crowd size, she's been clobbering him. Of course, that doesn't win elections, but according to Donald Trump, it does. Look at the crowd sizes. Look at Biden's crowd size. He doesn't have anything. He's in a basement. The shit that they talk about is so stupid. He's just so stupid, and these people that follow him are so stupid. And again, if you follow the Democrats, you're stupid too because they're funding a genocide, and I just can't do it. So. Anyway, that's really all I have on this topic right now, folks. We're going to be short and sweet with this. We're going to do one more podcast after this before the election, and we're going to. Maybe I might wait till after the election. We'll see what happens, but it's going to be fun to watch. I'm going to get my popcorn out, and I'm going to watch the results. And you could take this to the bank. I know I kept saying I think. Kamala's going to win. I know she's going to win. And I'm actually going to take it one step further. I believe she's going to win by a landslide. I think she's literally going to destroy Donald Trump. And in one way, I'm happy about that because, yes, I'd rather see her as president than Donald Trump as president. But like I said before, I'm keeping the blood off my hands. Completely off. So anyway, that's all I got today, folks. Please make sure you go to my YouTube channel. Please make sure you go to Instagram. Please make sure you go to TikTok and sign up for all that stuff. I will be having a Venmo account soon on my TikTok account, so I can start, bringing a little money, because this podcast, I mean, it costs money. I'm not here to make a ton of money, but I love doing this. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to bring on guests, so I need to buy more cameras, more microphones, all that good stuff. And we're just going to, after the election, we're going to hone in on talking about dating and relationships and getting motivated in life to achieve your goals. Would you believe that this guy right here used to weigh 230 pounds and couldn't run a mile without dying? And I achieved not only losing nearly 60 pounds, I went from running a 5K to doing a whole full Ironman triathlon. And it's all right here, folks. And we're going to talk about how I achieved those goals, and hopefully it can motivate you to do that as well. My main topic, though, is I love relationships. I love relationships when it comes to friendships, relationship with your kids, relationship with your significant other, why they work, why they don't work, what it takes to make them work. That has always interested me. Whenever I see a couple, I go, they look so happy. I want to go talk to them and interview them and how they meet and stuff like that. So that's going to be a main focus. So we'll dabble in politics as well here and there. So, all right, folks, that's all I got for today. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you soon. Thank you for joining the Freddy Mak Show, where common sense and logic rule. Peace out.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. Visit our website to connect with us on social media and learn how to become a guest on the Freddy Mak Show. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Freddy Mak Show, where common sense and logic rule.